peace. Now you're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you just freaked out. Get ready for defeat. Now I'm gonna make you bleed out. Listen on repeat now and weed out all the weak now. Get up.
There we are.
Ta-da.
Yay. We did it. Yeah, I should probably do something of the same. Maybe. I don't know. Still not sponsored by Red Bull. Facebook requires you to put something in the description, so that's what I put in. Since, we're doing unofficial sponsors today. I forgot Mickey's not here to protect me.
Nope. No crashing of the plane today. We can do whatever we want. He's not here. We can have fun.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Give people a few moments. Damn, James is already saying, let's get it. It's hard for her not to be on time when she was here the entire time.
I was not. I left and went and got something to eat. So
wait, who was driving?
It don't matter. But I was here and on time. Now.
Good morning, Ms. Bev. All right. That is more than enough people for me to start. I'm not Wintus. I'm not special.
Yes, you are. We all are special in God's eyes. I don't like the way he got his microphone. I'm going to change it while he ain't here.
All right. So let's sit down. Shut up.
I can be Judy Jetson. What other people on the Jetsons? That don't sound like Spacely Sprockets. I want to be something else. She-Ra.
Okay.
Remember She-Ra?
I remember She-Ra. They also made a remake of it. 2019.
Heller.
Heller.
Oh, I thought that was the name of somebody that was on the Jetsons. Since Mickey is the producer and he was Spacely Sprockets, I could be somebody else.
I get to be Astro.
Who is that? The dog?
That's the dog.
Damn, Trevor, nobody want to be the dog now. Damn. You can be somebody else besides the dog.
I mean, I can just
Elroy, George, look at that.
I can get off of the Jetsons and just go straight Rick and Morty.
Who?
That is a cartoon that you would not enjoy.
Rick and Morty. I've seen that. I think I know who
it is extremely crass.
I think I've seen that before. Oh, I think so. Yeah. No, I don't want to be Elroy. Okay.
All right.
Go ahead, Trevor. Take it over.
Let's sit down and shut up. I'm burning a bridge and picking a fight today.
Let's get it.
We've been doing this for what now? 2 years?
Mm-hmm.
For 2 years, I've been fighting for my community in my own way. For 2 years, I've been picking out corruption and bringing to light bad policies. For 2 years, I've been cussing people out and making people look and feel stupid. For 2 years, I've been busting my ass. In those 2 years, I always had one rule. We all know it. There were certain areas I wouldn't go. So for 2 years, to make life easier on my family, I wouldn't talk about a person. Until last Friday. Last Friday evening, I was taking my mother-in-law her blood pressure meds or what may have you. I don't know. Wife picks them up from work and brings them home. That way, mother-in-law doesn't have to drive. And we were talking about my upcoming move to Florida and plans. I have planned to, in a few years, when they get sick and tired of Flint going downhill, of paying too much for too little, for not receiving services when they just can't afford it, or when it's too dangerous for them, that
They said they can't hear you. To turn your mic up some. I don't know which mic number that is. So
It should be 3.
Um, say something.
Something.
Okay.
All right. So for 2 years, that was the rule. Until my mother-in-law informed me
Tell them the rule.
the rule was I just wouldn't speak on Judy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm doing like in church. Like, I'm sorry. I don't pay me no mind, because like when you in church and the pastor say something, like you be like, that's in the book. Yes, sir. Go ahead, preach.
I don't
So
go
you may
to
hear a
church.
little bit. I know, but I'm just saying, I'm not necessarily talking to you. I'm just back here talking like amongst an audience, so pay me no mind, just go on and do what you're doing, because you own it today. And y'all bet
The
listen,
plan
share this today, baby.
the plan was that when my mother and father-in-law either could not afford Flint anymore because of terrible policies, or because crime is out of hand and nothing's being done about it because all the cops are always down at city council, never up and down the streets. The plan was for them to move in with me on my land, and I will buy them a mobile home. Well, I will help them purchase a mobile home, get it anchored and foundationed. And I was told, well, Judy said to watch our back around you. Judy said to be careful, that you might just screw us over. Then she went on to tell me, Judy says you're the laughing stock of the Republican Party in Genesee County. Well, I went home and I told my wife about this. I was very upset, to say the least. And my wife had one set of instructions for me. Light that bitch up.
Light that bitch up.
So,
that's what his wife said. Light that bitch up. Just don't pay me no mind. I'm just in the crowd. Light that bitch up.
This is the marching orders from the wife.
Light that bitch up.
There has been a lot that has happened since 2022. When I ran, I asked for help. The only help I'd get is a co-signature to start up my campaign fund from my treasurer, Judy, though she refused to do the paperwork. She said that's on me. She gave me 1 or 2 introductions. One of those was to the Genesee County Republican Party at one of their meetings. Being told I'm the laughing stock of that group is like being told a clown is laughing at me. That is like having a toddler call you fucking childish. Listening to anything about that group, a bunch of fake Christians who give very little care about Flint, who want to go to Davidson, Mount Morris, and all these other places around Genesee, but they want to ignore the economic and populous capital of the county, who believe that it is not worth saving and not worth putting effort into. When I first went there, I told people what I was trying to do, run for 70th district. They told me, you have no chance in hell and it's not worth our time. When Matt Smith was the head of the Genesee County Republican Party, he was feeding information to my opponent, Tim Butler, because Tim Butler was not from Flint. He was from one of the adjacent areas. He thought it was more affluent and better. Hearing these people pray is more like listening to a child's wish list from Santa Claus. I'm telling you. So having that been said about me, and honestly, if I'm not allowed to talk about her, if I was told to back away from Judy, why is she talking to others about me?
Her ass.
I wouldn't even talk to friends off a camera about Judy. Everything said between her and I stayed between her and I. And she is letting these folks talk about me, but then I have to rewind. So she is affiliated with them, with the Genesee County Republican Party, which aren't really a Republican Party. It is one of those I pray to be seen groups more than anything else. State party should come in and take over. They are very definitely not Republicans. But then I think they lose the fact that I'm not a Republican. Just much like Ron Paul, I ran on the Republican ticket because it has more name recognition. I am a libertarian. I believe Republicans are just as out to fuck us as everyone else. And then listening to them call me a clown, when you look at Judy's voting record, which is very un-Republican, I'm sorry, there are more socialist policies on that than Bernie Sanders' wish list. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm the laughing stock. Jesus Christ, you people don't even know your own fucking platform. Oh, god damn. But it's okay. Number one, I'm moving, so fuck you. Number two, I didn't work with you guys during 2022. I wouldn't work with you guys during 2024. I sincerely hope you fall apart and reorganize along real party lines, because 90% of the people in that room were fucking Democrats in anything but name. Just Democrats of a different shade, apparently. Jesus. Judy and I have had many off the books conversations. One of the most recent was in January and December. And it was about putting Candace Machat on the ballot because she was supposed to be put on the ballot after 6 months or within 6 months or as soon as possible, according to the charter. Oh, good. That's not her yet.
Fuck it.
According to the charter. No, I have to see it. That way I can see the emojis. Okay. Or if I just feel like responding to something with a web link. Anyway, I asked her, why did you guys break quorum before it got to that vote? Because they did it twice. Her response to me, I won't say honest, is I forgot it was late. How are you going to forget that? You have the paper right in front of you. You're going through everything. You have the agenda, and then you have a breakdown of each resolution right in front of you. I forgot it was late, which was a bold-faced lie to me. Because her bestest best friend and most wonderful partner, the Ms. Second Ward Council President, as she was calling herself 15 fucking minutes ago, put on Facebook that she didn't agree with that resolution. It was known and planned ahead of time that they were going to break quorum so they didn't have to vote on it. And in a candid, off the books conversation, she decides to lie to me. I brought up to her several times that the people she consorts with are criminals and crooks that have taken bribes. She told me, well, it's called the corporate or the nonprofit and the person are different. We learned that in finance class. It is different. Except in finance class, you also learn of lifting the corporate veil. And to be honest with you, saying that you're only voting off the charter there goes against the spirit of the charter in and of itself. Those two took bribes, and you damn well know it, and you covered for them. And for 2 years, I have covered your ass. I have not said a damn thing about you. For 2 years, I have taken ridicule for you.
You shall have arguments, everything. Tell it all.
For 2 years, I've had people attack me because I wouldn't talk about you. And I did it all for family. And then you went behind my back to what little family I have left to try to alienate me, to try and separate me from what little I have. And you expected me to just let that slide? You expected me to just give you a phone call and try to fix it? I think you're about to learn I am a very vindictive man. I think you're about to learn that I'm a very angry man. I have been called a crackhead. I've been called an addict. I've had my name dragged through the mud because I wouldn't talk about you. I have ended friendships and relationships because I wouldn't say what you and I had talked about behind closed doors, or I wouldn't say anything negative about you. And to hear that you went and did that, to hear that you went to my wife's work and complained about Miss Beverly Biggs and Wintis because they showed a bra and complained about me being associated with them. And now I'm getting text messages from family begging me to stop. And yet, at this point, I can't. Because I don't know what was run around town said about me behind my back, because it's just now getting to me. For 2 years. And that's the thanks I got. For 2 years of doing my best to keep the peace, going to Christmas parties and Thanksgivings, and hearing you talk about the politics of the city and making pointed arguments, knowing that I can't argue back without causing a scene and drama that would ruin it for everyone. I sat there and I took it. And for what? I mean, are you siding with Quincy and Tanya? Or, sorry, Quincy and Liddell because you're against Tanya, even though those two are fucking criminals and crooks? You had a vote all this time that you could have put into an investigation or into the garbage contracts or into the bid rigging with the vehicles. You had a vote all this time that you could have used to try to straighten things out. But I'd get phone calls from you for talking about the budget, screaming at me. And I couldn't say a thing. And then I got a phone call from you just 2 months ago screaming at me. And that was the first time I stood up for myself and screamed back. And then later you called and said you would accept my apology. I don't know how things work up here. I know how things work in my family, and I went without talking to my own brother for years. I am done with it. I saw you vote on April 8th to put media in the back, specifically mentioning 810 News Media Group repeatedly. A pointed attack. Now, was it at me? Probably not. But you claim to be impartial, and yet you did it specifically because it would cost 810 money to get a microphone so we could better hear. It was done to alienate an entire audience. Whether you did it like that on or not, that was the purpose of the bill in and of itself as proposed. And then the night that it actually went into effect, Art Woodson gets kicked out for having a tripod. Mickey gets kicked out for having a tripod. Okay. But in that resolution, you're not supposed to have unattended equipment. And I saw Paul shit there personally all night unattended. That was unenforced. It was enforced unequally. And you had a voice, and you could have called that into order. Instead, You saw that I showed up, stood behind Wintus, and glared at me. Doesn't bother me. I wasn't there for any particular resolution. I knew everything that you guys wanted to get passed would get passed regardless. I was there more because there were now several ladies in the audience without a single man around. And 3 officers in that fucking room. But when I went outside with Sister Audrey Muhammad, I looked down the road and there's a crackhead running around without his shirt, creeping on girls and trying to start fights with guys, literally 1 block away. But you had 3 cops in a room. Your sister, your daughter, your brother-in-law, myself, or sorry, your sister, your niece, your brother-in-law, myself, and your great niece live in not the worst part of town, but definitely not the best. We hear gunshots every fucking night. We are afraid every fucking night. But every time it comes to something that could actually help fix the city, increase its economic prosperity, and stop these underground, undermarket dealings to give people a way to not make ends meet without dealing drugs or violence or gang related activity, it gets voted down or it gets passed to a 501c3. When the water went bad, we ended up hearing it didn't affect you, but it still affects your sister. It still affects your niece. It still affects your grandniece or great niece. Screw me. I'm just some random guy that married in. I don't care. But the fact that it still affects them, you'd think it'd affect you by proxy. I'm done. And you got to remember, my wife wasn't always on board with this. My wife wasn't always on board with not talking about Judy. My wife has held a grudge for many, many, many years. When my stepdaughters were born, my wife saw that there's no economic opportunity in Flint. She wanted a better life for them. So she tried moving down to Georgia. Wanted to take the girls with her. The girl's father protested in court. And the girl's father, back then, I want no smoke with the man. No problems. He's supposedly changed, but back then he was a terrible person. Abusive, drug addict. He wanted the girls full time and for Amanda to pay child support. And Judy sided with him.
Shut the fuck up.
A man that beat his current wife so bad one time before he cleaned up, she now has seizures for life and is on disability.
Oh, hell no. That bitch ain't shit.
So my wife, she didn't say not to say anything ever. I decided that on my own to make things easier on the family, to not make things rough, to not make family members choose sides. But when my wife said, light her up, because now I know that there is no loyalty, we had an agreement. I don't talk about her. She doesn't put family in the middle of it, regardless of what stance we take. And I find out that she wasn't honoring that agreement.
She sided with a man that beat his wife
Oh, he beat Amanda too.
and her own niece. But she wanted to cut your balls off, though. But she sided with a man that beat her niece and his current wife until she got seizures. That's who Judy sided with. Judy don't like niggas. I don't care what nobody says. I bet you she. I bet you she. You can say it. Go and tell the truth. She fucking put it all out there.
She is going to learn the lesson today
Put it out there.
that Neely learned long ago. Don't piss off the people that know where the skeletons are buried. Because there's nothing I'm not willing to talk about. You want to talk about me? Fine. I'll go into my Army career. I got 4 Article 15s. Those are non-judicial punishments of a high order. 1 for losing an ID card, 2 for drunk on duty, and 1 for assault with a deadly weapon. I'll put that out there right now. I don't care. Because I can stand here all day and show you who I am and what my character is. There's nothing you can say about me behind my back that'll actually affect what anyone thinks about me. And then on the off chance that it does, I'll eat a bowl of water with a fucking fork before I care what someone thinks about me. I care about this city. Giving millions of dollars away knowingly to people who won't do what they say they're going to do in a way to improve the city. The only thing that anyone cared about was fucking blight up there. Are you kidding me? You've got the city blight department. You've got the county blight department. You've got the land bank. And the land bank you gave a large sum of money to. So why are Candy City Cleaners getting 501c3 nonprofit status and ARPA funds? Why is anyone else, Mott fucking community, Mott Foundation, getting ARPA money for that? I don't think it is right. However, you voted with it. Was it because your friends did, or was it because you believe in them? I don't think you're that stupid. Or was it because Tanya was voting against it, or Jerry, or Dennis now? Things have gotten way too personal up there, and the conversations you and I have prove it. You think that some words are going to harm me, or me saying them is going to make me feel bad. Remember, I lived a very different life before this. I was a quiet man who just wanted to live alone and not be bothered. I got a call to run for office. I got dragged into this political sphere, and it opened my eyes to the world around me that I lived in. And because I took a stance in which I thought was morally right, I was ridiculed behind my back by someone I thought I could trust.
We had a lot of arguments because of her.
Yeah.
With multiple people. And
Kevin Tay is one of the biggest ones.
That was a big.
It's still on site between he and I.
Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna leave that alone because you're a little angry today. We don't want you to say nothing. You're a little angry today. A little angry. But we done had a lot of arguments. You know, just you and I coming up with the agreement. You don't talk about this. I won't talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to make it easier so people will understand.
Mm-hmm. One of the very first things you and I did, it was on our second show. People asked me about Judy, and I said I will not go there. Yeah. And you defended that.
Yep, we took a lot of flack for that shit. You know what? Let's just Mickey say, because I think it's just Cherry making me say it. Let's just call a spade a spade. Was she mad at you because you was over here with some black folks?
I don't think it was the black folks part, but she was definitely pissed at us on 810. I was told I was being used. Now, I want everyone to sit here for a second and take a look at the views that I currently have right now, only 100, whereas other shows on this platform consistently perform far better. So it's not like I'm lending any credibility to the platform. I'm not bringing in people. No one tunes in to.
We stuck together though. When
we
left from the other place, It was like,
But
me, you, and Mickey, we stuck together.
I'm saying, no one came to this platform looking to hear a white guy bitch about the city he lives in. That was a bonus, but it wasn't what anyone was actively looking for. So it wasn't to get views. Okay, then how else could I have been used? Money? I don't have that in the least. So it wasn't money. How am I being used then?
I don't know.
But that's all I'd ever hear. Or you got to get away from those people. Why? Yes, or we start shit politically. Yes, we look into things that people don't want looked into. Yes, I get death threats on the regular. But so does everyone else in life. There's no reason for me to step away from 810. The only reason I'm moving is because I'm fed up of Flint and the way it's being run. I love the people here. The people here are great. I mean, we could use a little bit more variety in our bars and definitely some more variety with the booze up here, even though I don't really drink anymore. That's part of the reason why I don't drink anymore. I can't find the stuff I like. I'm tired of the city of Flint, not the people of Flint. That's why I'm moving. And I'm voting with my wallet. And the sad fact of the matter is, voting with my wallet like this shows the leadership of the city in which a relative of mine is involved with.
Mhm.
It's sad when I have more in common with Dennis Pfeiffer,
Mm.
a man not related to me at all, a man who is far better off financially than I am, a man who I think the only interest he and I both share is saying, fuck off, get off my lawn, and guns. And I've got more in common with him in terms of governments and policy.
So sad. It's always family that gets you first. But you good.
I mean, I can honestly care less. I'm happy sitting at home alone. I'm happy sitting at home listening to music or playing games. I don't have to come outside. I don't honestly like coming outside. The only time of the week I look forward to opening my front door, getting in my truck, and going anywhere is Wednesdays, hang out with Clack, and Fridays. Come here and talk about things in the city and give my perspective on it.
You actually dressed up on my 47th birthday last year and
Mhm.
came to the Row House.
Yes.
I think that was your first outing.
Yep.
In a long time.
Yeah. I was invited. I take invitations very seriously. Like Sister Audrey Muhammad invited me to hang out with her family tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'll probably ask her the address and zip on down there and spend an hour or two and hang out. But it really just hurt.
Mhm.
It hurt in a way that I cannot describe. Because everything I did, everything I avoided, it's more of everything I didn't do was to make things easier on my mother-in-law. And now she's texting me upset. But I'm just doing what's already been done. And yes, I'm not going to get invited to holidays. That's fine. Honestly, cooking for 2 is a lot easier than cooking for 7.
Hmm.
Uh-oh. What happened is on the Facebook side, we got restricted more than likely. Though I haven't even done anything. I, I don't even have a firearm on me today.
Hmm. Well, it's not his final rant.
No.
Yes, he is moving from Flint, but he's still going to be having his show and stuff.
I'm going to be having both shows still. I'm not going to be attending city council, obviously. That's going to be a really expensive once a month trip. $1,000 to come up here for a few hours. Okay. Probably for a day. 14-hour drive?
Yes. If Kevin can do it in a bug truck, you can do it too.
No. Kevin don't have a busted back.
Well, he did it in a bug truck.
Yeah. Colorado. The damn thing's amazing. Besides that, he's coming up later this month. So,
well, what else we want to talk about today? Since you got that off your chest now, don't you feel better?
we'll see how the rest of the day goes after this.
Oh, okay.
Though I'm not accepting phone calls or texts for the rest of the weekend.
Damn.
That's like from anyone, though.
Okay, well.
I'm taking a mental health weekend.
Okay, well, I feel that. You can do that.
By mental health weekend, I mean I'm playing a lot of 40K and painting models.
Okay, enjoy yourself. Do you? Do you?
Oh, no, Renee. I can tell you right now, she didn't go home to get her gun because just like me, she always has it on her.
Oh, well, damn. She didn't have to go get it. Okay. Boom.
I'm telling you right now, she did not go home to get it. Just like anytime you see me out in public, hell, I don't think even Wentis has seen me unarmed.
I haven't.
Eunice Jackson, you're going to have to rewind to the beginning of the episode after we're done here.
Oh, yes.
Because going through all that again is going to be a rough one. No. I do want to talk for a bit about art. And all the prison jokes aside, all the jail jokes aside, I was sincerely and deeply worried for him when he got arrested. I saw him get arrested. I saw Mickey put out. I saw Rich getting put out.
Oh, he was all at home.
I was at home. I saw the cuffs go on Art. I saw that many of the ladies who detract from the Fab Five were left alone in that council chamber. And many of the ladies tend to go outside, chat, some have a smoke, whatnot, and are alone. So I came up. Art wasn't processed until about 3 a.m. He was booked at 6 something, held for 6 hours, then held for another 3 hours. I honestly thought he was, they're going to slam him with the book, a whole bunch of stuff. I stayed up. I had been up 24 hours prior to that. And then after that happened, I was up for another 24 hours. I was up for 48 hours straight. And 24 of those were worried about Art, trying to track down information on him, thinking that his truck got stolen, not knowing that he had family come and pick it up.
Well, that's good. Because we knew he would have got charged $1,000 a day at complete towing.
Yes. So complete towing is $25 every 2 hours.
Damn.
That they hold it, plus the towing fee. And then to release it, there's another fee. He would have been out at very minimum $800.
Damn.
Plus whatever to bond and bail. Plus whatever for the fines. Over standing in a doorway. Which, if you look at my Facebook profile, one of the last things that I posted, not shared, is a picture of several people in that same doorway with a Flint police sergeant, just bullshitting, just chilling, hanging out. I think we were talking to him about his pension. He didn't say a damn thing about clearing that doorway. It goes to show that the rules aren't enforced equally here. Ms. Billy from the E&A board was singled out and called out when she didn't even say a thing. By name. You get called out at council by name. Rich Jones I don't think there's been a single name uttered up by that council more than Rich Jones.
Right.
And Art Woodson. And the fact of the matter is, if you're not on their side, if you're not one of their friends, you get warnings more easily. You get arrested far more easily. I remember one time, you and I were talking back and forth about how a resolution was going to affect Flint and what the actual wording of it was. you got a warning.
Mm-hmm.
That's not even 2 minutes later, some crazy lady on the opposite side of the chamber stood up, directly addressed and yelled at Dennis Pfeiffer. No warning. Not a single damn one. I don't know where to go, guys. I got a lot off my chest today. And it's only been 40 minutes.
You ain't gotta do the whole lot work. If you done, we done. You said
I
what you
don't
had
know.
to say.
There's so much to say though. That budget completely unbalanced. How are they going to balance it, Wentus?
ARPA money.
That's gone. They used that to balance last year's budget. Did you see last year's budget? If you look at this year's budget, it shows last year they were upside down $43 million.
You showed
They
me
took,
last year's budget. Remember you had it all printed out.
mhm. If you look at it from this year, after everything's said and done, so $43 million upside down, offset 40 million of that from revenue replacement. So still 3 million upside down. Now they have no ARPA funds to cover themselves. So, Wentus, how do you think they're going to balance it?
They can't.
Raising your water bill and your taxes. And they still aren't going to get it. I don't know, man. I know that things will not be the same with my family after this. I know my mother-in-law is going to be hurt. I know my father-in-law is probably going to be impartial because he just doesn't care. He's over Flint. He's been over Flint since he was a high schooler. He knows that absolutely nothing is for him, everything is against him, and his opinion doesn't matter. So, and I know things will be strained between my wife and the rest of her family for a while. But just to sit there and take it, I don't know a single person who would sit there and take that as long as I have. And I'm not saying I'm a good person either. I'm not saying I'm a patient person. I'm saying that I was worried of being alienated and alone. I almost feel like I was an emotional prisoner. Because remember when all this started, I was just freshly orphaned. My mom had died in February. My dad died that following October. And all I had left was my big brother. And I became closer with my wife's family. And I started this, and I realized if I'm going to stay this close with them, then I can't talk about certain things.
That's what you said.
But
you didn't do nothing wrong though. Just like the people saying in the chat. Wisner, that's on Judy. That's not on you, Trevor.
just the fact that my mother-in-law, who I love dearly, who I walk across the street and just sit down. I bring my own coffee because this woman does not have a coffee maker in her house to sit down and drink a cup of coffee with her and just chat with her and relax with her at times. Just to have adult conversation with people who aren't trying to make some meme on a video game. And she was approached and told not to trust me. I'm not going to say that I've gone out of my way for my mother and father-in-law because I really haven't. But I've definitely reached out to them. I've definitely become a lot closer with them. And honestly, as far as in-laws go, they're the best I could have ever asked for. They are just emotionally needy enough to pay attention to what's going on in my life, but also respectful enough to give me the space that I ask for. I could have never asked for anything more than that from in-laws. And then to hear that someone tried putting a rift in between that, it really set something off.
Yes, look at this right here. Love your family. We are your family, brother. That's what Maurice all the way from Palaca, Florida.
Oh shit,
Love
he's
your
about me, my
family.
neighbor.
Love your family.
I mean, shit. I know I've been invited to quote the barbecue, but when I start barbecuing in Florida, everyone within driving range is welcome.
Love your family.
Kendra, leave my Red Bull out of this. Because we're still not sponsored yet. Maybe if we get a couple more views.
Shit, as many as you done drunk, hell, you should have stock. Talking about being sponsored.
I've been thinking.
Yes, no matter how far he goes, he's still A10 family.
It's just that
he can't outrun us.
There's been times where you and I have had arguments over
all the
Judy.
time. All the time. Like, all the time.
Like, you would say something and I just not comment.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing for me to say. I wouldn't talk about her to anyone on the outside of family. Now, my wife, on the other hand, has all the receipts.
Right. That's different, but it's like you would know, like, oh, I know that was a messed up vote. I know it, but you still wouldn't say nothing.
No.
Still wouldn't
and
say
I'd
nothing.
sit there and I'd talk about the 4 people who voted with her, or sometimes 5.
Yep.
And it felt so hypocritical.
Right, because the people online would say, oh, he want to talk about everybody, but not his auntie. He don't want to talk about his auntie.
And it wasn't out of anything other than protecting my peace of mind.
That's it. Because like I said, nobody was gonna take care of Trevor. Well, nobody gonna roll out of bed and say, here, you can stay here for the rest of your life. That just wasn't gonna happen. You had to do what you had to do for your home.
But when my wife, she's generally passive when it comes about herself. She can take all sorts of abuse, but when she heard that about me, she gave me marching orders, just straight up go and do it. Yes, ma'am. Yes, honey.
Mm-hmm. That's right. She drive a monster truck.
She's a hell of a shot, and she can when she's asleep, she can throw a hell of an uppercut. I'm still feeling that one.
Just like I said earlier, the amount of stress that this job, because it is a job. At the end of the day, this is a job. No matter what people say, we are here in this studio. Even though you don't shoot a show every day, but we in the studio at least 5 out of 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Sometimes Mickey is here 7 out of 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And this takes a toll on our personal lives.
And, it isn't just an hour or 2 hour show. You have to do research. You have to come with facts. You have to go to council meetings, or at least, very least, watch them. You have to listen. You have to go and read. It takes hours upon hours of time just to put together one show. And then you notice certain threads and you realize you can't speak about certain threads. I mean, just how it came up, and you can't do X, Y, and Z. And that just made more stress, because how am I going to factually talk about something? Honestly, intellectually, honestly talk about something that a family member of mine was involved in without mentioning my family member. And I can tell you, honesty, I've never really stood up for her either. But I've always told the truth about what I knew, such as, I think yesterday, someone put in chat, Judy's a Trumper. No, Judy don't like Trump. She really don't. She finds him to be a disgrace and blah, blah, blah. So I've done that just to correct the record. Kitchen. I know she saved for it forever and a day.
Okay, well, shit. Much truth. I look, you said kitchen. I'm like, huh? What happened to the kitchen?
She saved for it forever and a fucking day.
So Ashley Kaplan didn't pay for a kitchen.
No. Okay. According to Dennis yesterday on our short, it paid for one of his 3 Teslas. And obviously that's a fun joke.
Right.
Dennis, shit. Ashley Capital can't pay enough for a vote from Dennis. Dennis makes enough money on his own.
That's true. So we can put that to rest.
Yeah, I know someone wants to pop that up on Dennis, but no. The
No, I'm
kitchen,
talking about Judy's
that can
kitchen.
that can be put to rest.
Okay.
I don't know why she voted with it. I Maybe she thought it was a good deal. I don't see it myself. To me, monetarily, budget wise, money wise, it was poor. Just the initial was fine if they'd clean it up and said we have to pay for it. I don't like that. And then the tax capture, I don't agree with. I don't know why she voted with those. I can't speak on that because her and I, we already knew we weren't going to be able to talk on that one. That was a really contentious subject. So, like I said, man, I was angry and I was hurt when I heard that.
Right.
And, even when I'd go talk with my mother in law, I'd never say Judy. I'd say city council. Or if I was really angry, I'd say your city council, even though she's represented by Tawny Burns just like I am. Kind of, sort of depends on where the ward lines are. Otherwise, it's Jerry Winfrey Carter. I'd never talk ill about her sister to her. And just that coming out of left field, what have I been doing for 2 years then?
Right.
Why have I been why did I put myself in this position for so long if this peace treaty was just being circumvented? You know?
Mm.
I don't know, man. Like, hell, we put ourselves in some weird fucking positions on 810. Weird ones. I mean, we ran around with the Weaver camp for a while. That bit us in the ass.
Mhm.
And I got told, see, she's a crook and X, Y, and Z. Never saw any evidence of that myself. Just very controlling lady. Kind of underhanded. Well, are you going to support Neely? No. And I have to wonder, though, because I've been told that if the mayor is successful, the city is successful, according to her. Would she be just as supportive of another Mayor Weaver run or another Mayor Weaver administration?
Who? What you just say?
Judy, would she have been as
Oh, okay. You fucking.
would Judy be as supportive of a Mayor Weaver? Again,
No, Judy don't like.
I don't think so.
I'm like Kanye West. Judy don't like black folks.
Oh, Angie, no. And no, I don't think it's that. I mean, her three best friends on council all happen to be black.
Them ain't her damn friends. Yeah.
Mm.
Judy called us colored. They ain't said colored in 57 years. She said I dated a colored. You ever remember her dating a colored?
I've only known her for 6 years.
I bet you she ain't dating no damn colored.
As far as I've known, she hasn't
dated a damn colored. Yeah,
I was going to say she hasn't been in an intimate relationship in that time frame.
Well,
I mean, shit. I moved up here and I didn't meet her for a year after I moved in.
Well, I'm Kanye West and Judy don't like black people. Boom. That's it.
I don't know.
I said about George Bush. I'm saying it about her.
Which George Bush?
Well, Kanye said George Bush don't like black people.
That doesn't narrow down. Which George Bush?
I don't know.
There were two of them.
Shit, both of them. Yeah, ain't they father and son? Which one don't like one don't like the other. Yeah. They all in the bucket.
They all in a bucket.
Birds of a feather. Branch, apple no far from the tree. That's what they say.
So, yeah. Uh-oh. think that just about does it. 55 minutes is good enough for today.
You good?
I've got to go deal with Fallout. Windfall, Wintus.
Oh, that's okay. Tell him, fuck it. You had to do what you had to do to make yourself feel better. And then if they get on you too hard, then I'm gonna tell you what you can tell them to get them off of you as soon as I push in.
I'll tell you what I'll actually say. I'm a Berry Hill. We have our own way of doing things. We are a bunch of asshole anarchists. And the fact that I played by rules for so long goes to show how much I love y'all. But the fact that rules were broken on me when I was trying to be a good guy, well, a good player, really crossed that line with me. It really did. Because before I married Amanda, nothing was off the table, nothing was off limits. Everything looked like a nail because I thought I was a hammer.
Who is that? That's Mickey typing. Don't you take another drink from her ever again.
It's a good thing I usually bring my own stuff to replace.
Shit. Well, none of
But you guys don't have to worry about that because I know I've just been uninvited to every family function from now until the end of time.
Shit.
From now until Christ comes back.
We rolling up in there like boys in the hood. Tell her I dare her to say we won't. Because I'll get on here and say what she really don't want me to say.
I've been decent. What are you doing?
I don't know. Right, that's her new name, and she shall be called Miss Millie from The Color Purple. I've always been good to you people.
I mean, she'd probably prefer it to Long Titty, which I had never participated in, and I will stand on that fact. I never said nothing about her body.
Well, I hope you weren't looking at them damn titties.
I mean, I'm married for 1, for 2. That's family for 3. She is slightly older than me.
I mean, but you guys admit it was probably funny when she would sit up at the the table for Thanksgiving dinner, and her titties was still under the table when she pushed her chair up.
I don't know. I didn't look. However, my wife did hear you say that once. She goes, "That's going to be me in a few years."
Oh Lord, shit! No, it ain't.
My wife said that. She is very well endowed in the chest. She knows it. She says her back problems are caused by it. She goes, "That's going to be me in a few years." And Dennis, don't. Yes, I did, but still, Dennis, don't you dare say that.
Boom. Dennis laughed at that name too. That's all right. She famous. That's all right. Tell her she can pick a name, LTJ or Miss Millie, but she got to pick one.
She'll probably say something about it. That's fine. And everyone clipping this, go ahead and send it to her, and she knows not to call me because I won't answer. I'm not looking to repair this bridge. I'm looking to pour gasoline on it as I walk away because it's just one less tie to bring me back here. And while, like I said, I love the people here, I fucking hate the governance, and I will never step foot in this town again if I intend to. There's no me living here again.
I feel you.
I'm sorry, I can't afford it, and I won't pay people to rip me off and steal from me.
Right.
Especially with the promise of services that I do not receive.
Right.
So,
that's it.
That's it.
We out.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Death row.
Yay, yay.